So you may have heard Adobe Animate, which is like industry standard for animating, and everyone uses it. It's kind of shutting down, but actually not really. I don't know. This was a big deal like a day ago, and everyone's probably forgotten about it by the time this is coming out, but I didn't hear about it until later because I stopped scrolling Twitter. It's deleted off my phone, and I only go on there to post stuff and then leave. I would highly recommend that. That's how you should use all social media. It'll do wonders for your mental health to not constantly see stuff that was manufactured specifically to piss you off and raise engagement for whoever posted it, and probably isn't even real. Who would have guessed? Whoa. But yeah, this is the downside. It's a little harder to hear about stuff like this. But when I did hear about it, it got me thinking about all the stuff I've made with Adobe Animate. All one things I've made with it. Yeah, I only ever used that in any Adobe product for that matter when I was in school, and then never again. I have this video going over how I make the cartoons you'll find on this channel. There's a link to it in the description, but it's a little outdated now because I got a new tablet and microphone for Christmas. This is the updated Battle Station. Don't call it that. So yeah, this video is just going to be for showing off a bunch of those old school projects, so let's get into that. So before we start, if you want to watch any of these on their own, I've already posted all of them onto this side channel here. That's what I originally used this for because I didn't want the random strangers in my class knowing I made Oni Plays animations. These B-roll pictures you're seeing right now when it's me talking and not one of the videos. These are mostly stuff I had to make in Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop for the classes too. And also, my school did an art festival every year. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to be showing was on display there. And the videos were, I think all of them were screened in a giant theater, and one even won an award. So yeah, this is kind of like a Mike and Melissa deal. You gotta keep that fact in mind for the optimal viewing experience. Alright, so this first animation here was made for my first computer graphics class in November or December 2023. It was the final project after just learning to use Illustrator and Photoshop. This was the one to teach you how to use Animate, and we were supposed to make an animation about a red ball protagonist facing some kind of challenge and overcoming it. And other people in the class had to be able to make out what your story was, and no voice acting allowed. And here's what I came up with.
What's my name? Donkey Cheese.
So I had already done some animated stuff before this, so I think I had a little bit of an advantage. And also, the day we were supposed to be taught how to use Animate, everyone in the class but me thought we had the day off because it was right around Thanksgiving, so I was the only one who showed up that day, and the professor had to teach literally one kid for the day. That was surreal. So I took the second computer graphics class next semester, and that's where I made the rest of these. I'm only showing the ones that I made in Adobe After Effects since that's the theme here, but there's others on that same side channel for you to go and watch if you like these. They were made in Final Cut or Vegas, something like that. For this next Adobe thing we did, we had to just take some stock graphic and animate with that. I chose this just jungle animal stock graphic, and here's what I made with this. This one was a similar project to the last one, but we had to treat it like it was an ad for something. That one was right around the time it was popular to make fun of Boeing planes for always breaking. Does anyone remember that? I'm surprised nobody said anything about that, because on top of showing these in a theater, they were shown in front of the whole class. These next two weren't like full projects, they were just like tutorials we had to follow, and might as well post them. I'll save you the effort for the Russian text in that Planet one. That said, Challenge Mediocrity, Family Guy Funny Moments, Season 22. This one easily has the most lore to it. So we had to make a biography about someone who was a celebrity before the 1950s. They were only expecting you to just have like pictures of them and text about what they did tween across the screen in After Effects for like a minute, but I didn't realize that. I went above and beyond. I wrote and voiced this whole 6-minute beast and didn't even have to. And only like the first minute or so was done in After Effects like they wanted. I would like take it home, and I couldn't really get the Adobe stuff running on my computer, so I just used Vegas Movie Studio on my computer to do the rest of that. And they never knew. This is the one that I won an award for, and even though I was a dirty little fraud, but that's okay, because when I went to claim my certificate, it was literally just a piece of printer paper that had the award information written in like Arial font or some shit. What a ripoff. Like, I didn't even hold on to it. So here's that, and I'm gonna give just another reminder. This was screened in a theater at some point. Potentially hundreds of people had to sit there and watch this whole thing on a giant, like 50-foot projector screen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Studio 31 at CBS Television City in Hollywood, where the new Red Skelton Show, presented by Johnson's Wax, makers of Super Hard Gloss Glow Coat, is about to begin.
Red Skelton was one of the greatest comic actors of the 20th century. You've probably never heard of anything he's been in, but he graced each and every performance with his unique brand of buffoonery, chicanery, general tomfoolery, and don't forget his shenanigans. But there's more to a skeleton than just a funny bone, as Red Skelton demonstrates. He wasn't always doing comedy for comedy's sake. Sometimes it was a remedy for tragedy. Red Skelton was born around 1913 in Vincennes, Indiana. Red is actually his middle name, with his first name being Richard. Dick Skelton grew up poor, so started working at the age of 7 so he'd be slightly less poor. This included work as a paper boy, where his strategy was to not shut up till someone bought his paper. One of his customers was the star of a local show, and took Skelton to meet the other performers, which officially inspired him to pursue a career in acting. He dropped out of school around the age of 13 or 14, and started his career working at a showboat, in burlesque houses, and minstrel shows. Like, goddamn it. As Red Skelton moved on with the times and became a vaudeville performer and master of ceremonies, he met his first wife, Edna, who actually helped write some of his bits, such as Donut Dunkers, an impression of how people ate donuts. This proved to be one of his most popular bits, and eventually made his way to performing at the goddamn White House. FDR loved Red Skelton's style and grace, and had him as the master of ceremonies at his birthday celebrations for several years. He would have danced around in excitement after hearing Skelton's routine, but he had polio, so that would have been too hard for him. After he had mastered enough ceremonies, Red Skelton broke into film, playing Wally the Fox Benton in Whistling in the Dark, Whistling in Dixie, and Whistling in Brooklyn. He had to abandon his original goal of whistling in every American location to act in other films. There's too many to name, so they're just gonna flash on screen really fast. And then he was drafted into World War II in 1944. What do you mean that came out of nowhere? What are you talking about? During his time in the Special Services, Red Skelton doubled as an entertainer for the troops. Performing 12 shows a day stressed him out on account of it being too stressful. While hospitalized after a nervous breakdown, he met a critically wounded soldier and made the shocking discovery that entertaining one guy was way less stressful than a whole ass crowd. The soldier made a miraculous recovery, and so did Red Skelton, all through the power of comedy. After the war, Red Skelton got into television while it was still young, with The Red Skelton Show premiering in 1951 on NBC, and later moving to CBS. It ran for 20 years, Jesus Christ, though he kept having health problems, and yet, this is where I gotta drop the stupid announcer voice because it's too sad. So he had a hernia, his son died of cancer, and like he fell down the stairs so bad he was put in the hospital for a month. They said he had like a 9 out of 10 chance of dying, like all in like really short span of each other. And so like his show gets canceled for being too old. He's gone from TV a while, and then he wants to come back and like gradually work his way back to TV, being on talk shows, and then his second wife, Georgia, just committed suicide during that, so that put that on hold. He just never got a break around this time, poor guy. It does end on a high note, though. He does end up coming back to TV in his last few years and doing stuff, so I can put the stupid announcer voice on again to talk about what he made in his later years. I'm just gonna flash it on screen again. Look at it. Red Skelton had other interests besides acting, like painting, clowns, and only clowns, around 1,000 total clown paintings, and selling them. People looked at this and decided they wanted it in their house, watching them, knowing their secrets, knowing where they hid the body. This one's a cowboy. Red Skelton passed away on September 17th, 1997, leaving behind a legacy of joy and entertainment. He managed to get several awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and after his death, a Performing Arts Center and Museum of Comedy named after him, both in his hometown. With all that he went through in his life, Red Skelton showed how comedy can help with grief and turmoil. And so can making clown paintings, apparently. There's also nowhere else like fit this in the script. I just really like this picture of him. It's funny. Danny DeVito looking ass. It's cool.
So next week, when our show is brought to you by Pet Milk, may we say good night and good luck. Good night.
Oh my god, that took forever. Did you forget what video you were watching? Because you sat through that whole thing? Nah, who am I kidding? Nobody's fucking watching this far in. So here's the last one, probably my favorite. It's not a whole lot to it. We just had to use the After Effects green screening to make something. Alright, this is bullshit, dude. I wanna go to the park, have some fun with my family that's conveniently off screen. And there's just sharks and tigers everywhere. Just no, that ain't happening. Come on. Dude, I remember when this used to be a nice neighborhood and there weren't sharks and tigers running around. That was great. Now there is sharks and tigers running around, and now I want to move. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm definitely moving. We're not living here anymore. Oh, but there he is. He's getting in my face. Look at him. Look at him go. Not even playing baseball. What the fuck? And that's all of them. Bye. Later. Leave. Watch something else. Preferably something I made. Please. Alright, bye.